Choose your fighter.
Yo, what up YouTube? Welcome to my 4-part tutorial on Videl. This is the first part. We're going to be talking about normals and specials, going over each of them, so let's get it started. Boom. Alright, let's get this started. First up, let's talk about her normals. Her 5L is kind of doo-doo. It whiffs in a lot of situations, especially against, shorter characters. So for example, this is a situation you need to be aware of. If you're doing 6M against a shorter character, if you do 5L, you're probably going to whiff unless they hit 5L as well. So keep that in mind. Someone who's a little bit taller, it's not too bad. Like Yamcha, you're not going to have that problem. You got okay range, like it's nothing fantastic. But most of the time, you don't want to use 5L unless you really just need a 6-frame move instead of a 7-frame move, because her 2L is really good. Her 2L is 7 frames. It has good range for a crouching light. Like, it's not like fantastic or nothing, but it's pretty good. Considering like most characters, if they did like super dash into 2L, it would whiff. She can actually do that. Not mid-screen, but in the corner. But it has pretty good range. So 2L is what you're going to use most of the time, as long as you can get away with using a 7-frame move instead of a 6-frame move. Alright, 5M. So 5M, your main tools that you're going to use up close are going to either be 2L or 5M. 5M is 11 frames, and you want to use 5M anytime you need to attack from right outside 2L range, because 5M has okay range. It's not quite round start range. Like, you can scoot forward just a little bit and then it'll connect. At max range, it's 12 frames instead of 11 frames. So it's not like, Gohan having a round start 9-frame 5M, but it's still okay. It's serviceable. Something else that you should know is that she can cancel 5M into another 5M. She's one of the only characters that can do this. In order to do this, you want to do 5M and then back 5M. You can't really slow this down, unfortunately, so you can't do like and then do another one slow. You always have to do this fast. 5M, back 5M. So don't expect to be putting any gaps in here. I wish you could put a gap here, because the fact that you could do 2 5Ms, if you could put a gap, then that's twice the chance of them getting opened up by a medium, which would be pretty cool. Her 2M is really slow, but it's actually pretty decent because it has really good range. Not that much range. About that much range. So a little bit more than round start. About that much. There we go. So 20 frames from absolute max range and 16 frames up close. So it's not too bad. It's really, really good for catching reflect. So if you do like 2L into 2M, 2L into 2M, this will catch backdash. This will catch this will catch reflect all the time. I'm always catching people reflecting with this, because they'll reflect this, I'll back up, and then 2M will just come in from like out of nowhere. Next up we have 5H. 5H is not that good. I use it very rarely. It does hit from round start, but it's 15 frames. You pretty much don't want to use this. The fastest move from round start is actually quarter circle forward L, and we'll get there in a minute, at only 12 frames. If you scoot forward, then, medium will hit from 12 frames, so it's not quite as good. Okay, next up is 6H. This move here. That is one move. That is 6H. It hits 3 times. And this is a very, very important move for Videl. You will use this a lot in block strings and in combos. Things you need to know about this move is that there are 2 gaps in this. The first gap is very small. You can, if they try to do anything, you will get hit. It is a frame trap. The second gap in between the second and third hit is much larger. So I'm going to switch back to Videl and show you what I mean. I'm gonna record her doing it. I'm gonna block. If I try to do anything on that second hit, I'm gonna get hit. So watch, I'm gonna try to jump. I just get popped. Now what happens on the third hit? So I'm gonna try to jump. You see, I actually left the ground and I didn't get punished. There's a much bigger gap between the second and third hit. So you pretty much almost never want to do the third hit. You want to cancel on the second hit. There are exceptions to that, and I'll explain that here in a minute. So you can actually vanish, or even, let me see if I can do this. Let me try one more time. You can backdash that third hit, but it's really risky. I would never advise doing that as someone fighting Videl, because she can cancel this at any time. So this is the strongest, that's the strong part of this move, is it lasts a really long time, but she can cancel at any time. So if you block the first hit of this, and for some reason the rest of this whiffs, at any point I can cancel. So let me show you what I mean real fast and why this is so good. So let's say that they want to like vanish that third hit, even though you probably don't want to do it that often. Let's say they want to vanish that third hit. Block, vanish. There we go. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to react to the vanish and then cancel. By the way, that's a counter. She has a level 1 counter. That's a super. That's quarter circle forward H and S. Quarter circle forward H and S. So yeah, she can cancel this at any time. And it's also really good for baiting out guard cancels. So let me show you that real fast. I'm actually going to turn this up. Or you know what? I'm going to turn this on random. Guard cancel. On random. There we go. So I don't know when she's going to guard cancel. She might guard cancel early. She might guard cancel late. But she's going to guard cancel. Boom. So I'm just looking. Boom. And you can cancel into level 1. Go into a combo like that. You can cancel into DP. You can cancel into counter. So it's really good for baiting guard cancel. And like I said, they can guard cancel at any time. They could guard cancel late. It's really good for baiting guard cancels. So if you think someone's going to guard cancel, you want to go into this move like as soon as possible in the block string. And make sure they block it, because if they don't block it, you can't cancel. Alright, next up, we're going to talk about Gohan a little bit. 5S on the ground. Gohan will come out and do a punch. 2S, Gohan will come out and throw a ki blast. 2S in the air, Gohan will come out and do a stomp. And 5S in the air, Gohan will come out and do a kick. Okay? So all of these Gohan moves jail into vanish. So to prove this, I'm going to set him to attack light. Jail. 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 So anytime you can get them to block this, it is pretty much confirmed into plus frames if you have a bar. So it's really strong. Also, let me just show you some quick text surrounding this move. Gohan does not go away if you get hit, which makes it really strong for like doing unsafe things. So for example, I'm going to record Videl doing 2S and then super dash, right? Alright, that should have worked, hopefully. There we go. You'll see I got smacked by the ki blast. And the same thing in the air, so this is 2S into vanish. This is really good for getting in. So watch what happens when I try to 2H. Gohan just claps me. So we basically trade. I get 2H, they get hit by Gohan, and we're back to neutral. So I can pretty much get away with doing stuff that's not that safe, like super dashing and vanishing because of Gohan. It's pretty strong. And if you combine this with an assist, it's pretty much getting for free if you have a bar. There we go. It's pretty much getting for free if you have a bar. So that's something that's really strong with Gohan, is being able to have plus frames and situational. 2S, let me talk about 2S for a second. 2S is really, really good for baiting out Super Dash. So you can do like just 2S and sit here and block. Also, you can use 2S to confirm off of a vanish. So let's say you need to punish something from far away. This is the best way to do it. So I'm going to turn this off. Alright, so let's say you need to punch something from really far away, right? You're like really far away. They did something very punishable. You can't really reach with this. So here's what you can do. You can cancel, like as soon as you call Gohan, cancel. And Gohan will still come out. It doesn't matter like how fast you do this, Gohan will come out. So you can see that I'm barely even doing the animation. And I get a combo. So the best part about this is you don't use your wall bounce or your smash. You see, I was able to still get my smash there. So even though you're using your vanish, because they don't hit the wall, you still get to keep your smash. So that's pretty strong. And you can do this with some assists too, but the fact that she can do this by herself is pretty good. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about her jump normals. So jump light and jump medium when you're doing IEDs tend to whiff. It's actually really strong to do IED M, and then as soon as the M would connect, you do 2L. If they block the first hit, then they're gonna have to block 2 overheads. Let me show you what I mean. Actually, let me record this so I can show you better. So there we go. So lost my mic for a second. If I block, I'm gonna have to block 2 overheads. You see that? But let's say I don't get to that block in time. But I'm gonna get opened up low if I stand up too late. So it's pretty strong to do this. You'll want to do this in certain situations. We'll go over that later. But that's something notable about her. Both these moves tend to whiff, especially the light. The light, it just doesn't have very good vertical range. ID heavy, like if you really want to make sure you're getting an overhead, ID heavy is the way to go. Heavy is pretty strong, especially for like as an Oki off of level 3. We'll talk about that later. And but the main tool, one of her best tools or air normals is this move, jumping 2H. Jumping 2H is freaking godlike. It has it doesn't have very much horizontal range, but man, the vertical range is pretty much this whole leg. Like this whole thing, from her heel all the way down. It's kind of dumb actually. It's really, really good for catching people out of the air. And it's like, it's not the slowest move either. It's 12 frames. Like it's kind of slow, but her, in comparison, like her M is 9 or 10 frames. And her H is 12. And it also has a lot of active frames. Like it's there for a long time. So this move is really, really good for safe jumping. So if they would have done like, we'll talk about that later. But it's really, really good for safe jumps. And it's really good for like resets also. So let's say you do something like this. It's really, it'll catch up tech, it'll catch back tech. We'll get to all that later. But this is a really, really strong tool. Air 2H. Alright, let's get into her special moves. So, we're going to go way into depth about this later when we talk about block strings and mix-ups. But just know for now that this is her Rekka. It's quarter circle forward light. It hits 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. The second hit is an overhead. So they have to block that as an overhead. And the 4th hit causes a wall bounce. You do not have enough time to grab unless you are outside. So if you are almost to the corner, then you can get a grab. If you realize that you're almost to the corner, then you can get a grab like that. But if you're tight in the corner, it's not going to happen. So her bread and butter normally after this is to dash forward and go in like that. We'll talk about that in the combo section. Just know that the 4th hit of her Rekka causes an overhead. The second hit, the 4th hit causes a wall bounce. The second hit is an overhead, which is very strong, and we'll talk about that later. And there is a gap in between every single one of these. So let me record and show you what I mean. So none of this is true. Oh, that was not a recording. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so we just recorded that. Yeah, so none of this is true. So I'm doing this as fast as possible. And you'll notice if I try to hit a button or if I try to jump, so I'm going to block the overhead and I'm going to try to jump. I just get hit. So anytime, a lot of people think this is a negative, but this is actually really strong. Now options are always better. If she could make it true or frame trap, that would be better. But the fact that it's a frame trap is really, really strong. And this is actually like her game and why she's so strong. Her pressure game is just freaking ridiculous. And her Rekka is the reason why. Because each one of these is a frame trap. And she can stop at any time. And just so you know, like, let me switch this to guard all. Okay. So the first hit of Rekka here is not safe. Let's set her to counterattack light. If I stop, see I was trying to block. This is -8 on block. So this is not safe. But every other single part of her Rekka is safe. So the first one, -8, not safe. Second hit, -5. So every other hit, -5 is safe. Now the 4th hit is also not safe. You see it's like really, really not safe. But she can actually cancel. Like she can try to like jump out. Or backdash. Like you typically don't want to be in that situation. And you can block. But once you hit the ground, you're mad punishable. Alright. So, we'll talk a lot more about this Rekka later. Because it's really, really strong. But that's all you need to know for right now. Next up, she has Frankensteiner, which is her command grab. Her command grab does not hit crouching opponents. But it will snag people out of the air. So it's really, really strong for setups. So anytime you think somebody might reflect, let's say you come in and you're doing a safe jump, you think they might reflect, or you think they might jump, this will catch them. The only thing that'll beat it is crouching. And it's very counterintuitive, because if you see her go into the air, you think to block high. And by that time, it's too late. You don't have time to crouch. The light one is pretty fast. The light one is especially good for... So let's say you condition somebody with 6M. By the way, you should be using 6M. It's very strong. She can cancel 6H into 6M at any time. Also, something notable about her 6M. Let me talk about this since I'm thinking about it. If you'll notice, like, Videl's 2L, Videl's 5L is really good for anti-airing. And watch this. Clapped. Videl's 6M is stupid. It's one of the only 6Ms in the game that you can just straight, like, that you can't 5L. And I'll show you with Yamcha too, so it's not just Videl. Like, even Bardock would get clapped. You need to use 6M. It's just strong. So 6M is really, really good. Anyways, let's get back to Frankensteiner here. So the light version is really good for, let's say you condition them to stand block. You've been doing this a few times, right? Well, the next time you could do like this, the light version. The light version is pretty fast. You don't get a combo. I mean, you could get a quasi combo like this. Let me turn him off crouch so you can actually see what this looks like. Come on, I want this. Oh, I already used the Frankensteiner, so I can't do it. So you can only use the Frankensteiner once per combo. So let's say if you use it here and you try to do something like this, the next one will whiff. You cannot do 2 Frankensteiners in one combo. That's something to know. Now, if you hold the M version of Frankensteiner, so this is not holding it. If you don't hold it, Gohan will come out and he'll smack him down on the ground. But if you do hold it, you'll get a wall bounce, assuming you're close enough to the corner. Right, so it's not going to happen mid-screen. But you'll get a wall bounce, and you get a combo. So it's really, really strong. So this is really good for baiting reflex. It's really good for, you know, trying to catch people jumping if you do it at the right height. And we'll talk more about the EX one whenever we get to setups, because the EX one is very strong off of Rekka. Because whenever you press H during Rekka, you'll get the H version of Frankensteiner, which is a grab. And because the second hit is an overhead, but yeah, getting ahead of myself. Let's stay on topic here. All right. So next up we have this move, the flip kick. I'm not actually sure what this move is called. This is down down L or down down M or down down H. The down down L version, let me show you mid screen. Will push you far away and will leave them standing. So let me show you what it looks like on hit. So they will be left standing. So this is pretty strong for any situation like that where you want them to stay standing. The M version will cause a bounce, and it will use your smash. So even if you do manage to get a combo off this, you just need to know that you no longer have your smash. The H version uses a bar, and you can combo yourself mid-screen anywhere. If you use the H version of this, you get a free combo. But it does use your smash, so that's something to know as well. Both the light version, 30 frames, and the H version, 30 frames, are pretty fast. But the M version is a little bit slower at 34 frames. So that's something else to know. Also, during Rekka, she can press M to do the M version of this flip move. This is a cross-up, by the way, and it's an overhead, so it's a cross-up and an overhead. You do have to block this high. You cannot crouch block this. There's not really any way to, you know, trick them. There are a few setups where you can like push them out of the way, make them move whiff with an assist, and go low, but it's really not that tricky because there's a little bit of landing lag if you whiff this move. You see how she touches the ground, so that's just something to note in your labbing. Alright, so that's her flip kick. Let's talk about her supers real fast. So her level 1 normal super is really special because it's a launcher and she can do whatever she wants after. So I'm gonna super dash. and I get a full combo, like it's not like a very big combo, but do know that, like, let's say you don't have any, you know, you don't have any assists, and you want to keep the combo going, you could do it like that. There's a better combo, but you can, like, just straight up, let's say you're mid-screen. And if you have another bar, we're talking combo. We'll talk combos later. If you have another bar, you can continue that combo mid-screen. This move, quarter circle forward quarter circle forward SH,
You're not giving up?
is a counter. I already showed you that move briefly.
You're not giving up?
It starts up pretty quickly, but not instantly, so you can be hit out of the startup of this.
You're not giving up?
And it will use your bar. So if you get hit in the startup, you will lose your bar and get punished, so it's kind of meh. So just know that you can't wake up with this. This isn't free. You should not be doing this on wake up. But it's really, really good in situations where you know your opponent's going to hit a button, like after they vanish. You know, situations where they're plus on block, as long as you have any gap at all, then you're good. But if they hit you meaty, you're getting bopped. Yo, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this Videl tutorial, please hit a like and subscribe. Also, share these videos with, you know, anyone that's playing Videl. You know, your buddy plays Videl or wants to learn Videl. You know, share these videos with them. It helped me out a lot. It helped them out a lot. Win-win. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you later.